Be pretty sick, wouldn't it? Welcome back to Recaps. This is week like 13, 14, 15, I think. I keep kind of losing count after the COVID breaks and everything else, but that's what it should be. This is Chirpin DMV. I'm Ben, your occasional guide to Washington Capitals hockey. Really depends on the week if I'm available, apparently, because I'm so inconsistent. Good news, I recorded this whole thing again, and the mic didn't work, so take two. We are going to buzz through this, but before I do that, got to promote the new merch. The new Tommy Wilson from Toronto, Ontario, the Mr. Clean merch we dropped. I made a video for it. The shirts and hoodies look dope, so definitely check those out. Support your All-Stars at the All-Star Game now. So funny. Check that out. Get your shirt, get your hoodie, and just support the shit out of Tommy Wilson. All right, so let's Spark Notes version of this. I'll break down the key notes from like every game up until like the last like three, and then I'll talk about those. So we got the Winnipeg game up first. This was an overtime win. That's the big note there. First OT win of the season. Kuznetsov pulling it between his legs in neutral zone, just so disgusting. Throwing it out front to Tommy Wilson, our two All-Stars. He puts the puck in the net. Capitals get their first OT win of the season. I was blown away when I saw that. I thought for sure they were losing when it went to OT, but they get the W. Next up, we got a 4-3 loss to the Boston Bruins. The story of this one, Tom Wilson, this was the inspiration for the shirt. He smokes Anton Bleed, absolutely pummels this kid. Clean as day. Probably one of the biggest, cleanest hits he's ever thrown. Mr. Clean, of course. And then Capitals tie the game up 3-3, but then lose with 45 seconds left. So that was a heartbreaker, but yeah, Caps lose that one. Then we got the Ottawa game. They go down 2 to Ottawa, which sucked. Ovi puts the team on his back, was the story of this one. He scores 2, and then Backstrom scores just this duddy goal in overtime. Just dragging it on the backhand. Patience, surprising from Backstrom, right? Using patience. He roofs it. Capitals take the win in OT, 3-2. Then we got Vegas. The story of this one, Robin Lehner. Capitals lose 1-0 to Robin Lehner. That's it. That's the tweet. Then we got the San Jose game. I guess the only real story of this one was Connor McMichael was scratched, because other than that, it was kind of a wash. Maybe Daniel Sprong, because everyone's so inconsistent with their thoughts about him. He roofed one short side, but they lose 4-1 to the Sharks. Now we got the games that we'll talk about, and that's Dallas, because Braden Holtby is back. He means so much to Capitals fans and the organization itself. He's probably my favorite goalie of all time, probably always will be. I'm sure he's a lot of other people's, because he was here, he won a Vezina, he tied records with Marty Brodeur, he won a Stanley Cup, he made the save. Like, he's just the coolest cat in the league. So we love Braden Holtby here, always have, always will. So I'm glad to see he's having some success in Dallas, but obviously not this game. So at the start, I was kind of freaking out, because I'm like, oh god, they scored early, it's over. Pavelski scores this weird one on Vanacek like 42 seconds in, but it's reviewed and deemed to be offside, so thank god. We have a 0-0 wash game. And then the power play was clicking in this one. We know how bad it's been. Obviously it doesn't mean much if you view the next couple of games, but Tommy Wilson on the power play, he scores to make it 1-0 past his old buddy Braden Holtby. And then another power play goal, this one from John Carlson. Nice to see him getting back on the board, especially after he missed time. But he snipes it. Kuzi gets his 30th apple of the season already. The revenge tour alive and well. Then TVR, someone people don't really talk about because he's just like a 5th or 6th D-man, but he's just so solid, and he scores to make it 3-0. Then Connor McMichael, this guy loves to score after he's been scratched. He responds well to that. So he comes back in this one, gets a nice feed from Lars Eller. He finds the back of the net to make it 4-0. I was just pumped watching this game because I thought they were going to get blown out when they went down 1-0. That gets washed and they just blow out Dallas. And then Backstrom, he snipes low glove in the McNugget minute, no less. This guy just cares about us is what it comes down to. But anyways, Holtby gets yanked, poor guy. But he gets to sit on the bench and talk to Ovi. I'm sure they were just shooting the shit, so that was kind of good to see, I guess. But Capitals take this one 5-0. Dominant win. Vitek gets the shutout. Just all things are good in Capitals land. Then we got the Pittsburgh game. We got Nick Jensen back from IR in this one. We got Vitek back in the net after his win against Dallas. Capitals take a penalty early in the game. It's Daniel Sprong, but doesn't slow them down. Nick Dowd gets the B-way. Nick Guinea Dowd Netsov, the way he goes 5-hole for this goal on a Pittsburgh goalie on a breakaway. Kind of reminds me of some demons being exercised. I don't know about you. But anyways, Capitals take the early 1-0 lead, but then that lasts about 12 seconds because Malkin on that same penalty kill for Washington scores. Just a random shot, almost like a rebound, but he was like at the hash marks. He just got the pass and let it go. Didn't love that Vitek let it in, but then he gets yanked from the game because earlier he had a big collision with Kasperi Kapanen. His back of his head hit the crossbar. So concussion spotters pull him out of the game. He doesn't return return, so it's possible he let that goal in with a concussion, so it's kind of hard to blame the guy. So Sammy comes in relief, and Daniel Sprong takes another penalty, and the Penguins score on another power play. Lars Eller wasn't doing a whole lot of anything on the penalty kill. He wasn't covering anyone. Sammy's kind of doing like a Dominic Hasek, like laying his arm out. It was just a mess, and Penguins take a 2-1 lead. Every goal so far have been on a power play or penalty kill, and that trend continues when Orlov scores. Conor Sherry buzzing down the wing. I love seeing him skate like this. Second unit power play comes out. He buzzes down the wing, takes it on net, just puts it on the pad, kicks right back out to Orlov, who roofs it. So Capitals power play clicking again, but you love to see this because for a power play that's notoriously slow and not big on movement, Conor Sherry buzzing like that definitely changes the pace and what Pittsburgh's expecting. Obviously results in a goal, so just a good play all around. TVR and Willie would go down the tunnel briefly, but TVR would come back and throw the puck right over the glass, delay a game penalty, and Pittsburgh would score their third goal of the game on the power play. Then Dowd scores on a deflection in front to tie it. He's all pumped. He's having a game. Such a sick fourth line center. I love Nick Dowd, but then it gets reviewed, and I'm looking at this review like, oh, it was just like ref thought he saw something. It's nothing. Goalie pushes him out of the edge of the crease. He's literally like on the edge of the crease, and they call it no goal. Probably the sickest no goal call I've ever seen, or at least one of them. Like, and the word I gotta look up the word they use here. Significant presence. Are you gonna tell me that this is a significant presence in the crease? Because I'm gonna call you an idiot if you say that, because that's just a lie. He's like literally on the edge of the crease. Jari has to extend his arms to even touch him. So that goal doesn't count. It's so stupid. But not to fear, Daniel Sprong, the guy that everyone wanted traded by intermission, he comes out buzzing just like Conor Sherry. He roofs it on his former team and plows all-star Tommy Wilson over to tie the game in the McNugget minute of the second period, no less. A lot of McNugget minute goals lately. You love to see that. And John Carlson gets the primary apple, probably the easiest assist of his career here, just banks it off the board, and Sprong is gonzo. This ties Carlson for 6th on the all-time franchise points list with Dale Hunter. That's some no-joke company he's in, so congrats to John Carlson climbing the ranks. There wouldn't be a goal scored in the third, but then Dmitry Orlov walks out from the wall, just shimmy shakes and puts it short side blocker. What a goal. Dmitry Orlov is second of the game, wins it in overtime for the Caps. That's 2 overtime wins now. We are starting to pile them up. Those are going to matter, especially against Pittsburgh, who is good for no reason again this year. Like, just so stupid. They got like Evan Rodriguez and Tristan Jarry playing out of their minds. It's dumb. But anyways, Caps win. Then we got the Edmonton game. This one was big because Ovi, the team's arguably the league's MVP, gets COVID. He's on COVID protocol. Could it have been intentional biological warfare to miss the All-Star game? I'm not going to say no, but no, this sucks losing Ovi because he's contributed on, like, I think he scored 1 in every 5 Capitals goals, and he's had a point on 2 of every 5 Capitals goals. So he is involved this year. Missing him is going to hurt severely. So hopefully, it couldn't have come at a better time, I guess, because it's the All-Star break, so they get a week off. So he won't be missing many games aside from this one, but still, just sucks to see that happen because he was the only Cap who hadn't missed a game all season. Sammy's back in net after this one. I forgot to even talk about him in the Pittsburgh game. He played unreal, coming in relief for Vanacek. He made like 42 saves. Big ones too. He had the big extend and kick save on the rebound after Captain's breakaway. He had the big leg save on Crosby too. So Sammy looking good in this one. Sammy not looking very good in the Edmonton one though. They score 3 in the first like 5 minutes. So Draisaitl, he scores a little deflection in front, but this one pissed me off because John Carlson pinches, okay? That's fine. He's got Kuznetsov to cover, but I guess Farivari broke or lost his stick or something, so he's beelining it to the bench. Here's my issue. Draisaitl, this is going to be my horrible visual representation of this. Draisaitl skating up center ice, Faravari's here going to the bench, which is here. Again, I apologize for this visual example, but anyways, here's Draisaitl coming up, Faravari's going across and just goes right by him. You gotta do something there to slow down Draisaitl, let people get back and get in a better position. You, like, even fake the shoulder to him just so it makes him hesitate, or actually try and hit him, but you can't just avoid him entirely because Draisaitl moves the puck over, gets it right back, scores 1-0 a minute and a half into the game. Then Evander Kane, this one obviously an emotional goal for Caps fans because like half the fan base kind of wanted him, half the fan base didn't want him near the team. He scores on a deflection. Then they get a power play and McDavid does McDavid things. He's like behind the net, just like outweights, sees an opening, just banks it off the back of Sammy, and it's in 3-0. Sammy out of the net. Copley goes in relief. And then Lars Eller, the son of a bitch. I went to bet that he was going to score the Capitals' first goal. I don't know why I thought he would. I just had this gut feeling. But then the Oilers scored. So it got like the app like went gray, so I couldn't bet. And then I just kind of forgot about it for like 5 seconds. And then he goes down and scores the first goal. And I would have won money and I didn't. But anyways, good to see the Tiger scoring. Yeah, it's kind of like the DSP goal in Game 5 of the Cup Finals when he collected it in front and then like went around the goalie, but Koskinen was out to lunch. He wasn't making this save. Eller almost gave it back to him, but still he scores. Capitals are back in this game kind of. And then what was probably the biggest highlight of the game that was plastered everywhere was the Garden Dog, Garnet Hathaway, smoking Evander Kane to the bench. He was kind of like kicking his legs a little bit. Like the boys on the bench didn't look happy. He has a little stare down with Hathaway. I just personally can't imagine being Evander Kane on the NHL ice. Everyone has the most ammunition possible to unload chirps on this guy, so he must have the thickest skin in the league. Then Conor Sherry, just what a signing. Keeps his good play alive, gets rewarded. He's just standing in front, the right areas to go to score. Puck comes to him, just throws it on net on a rebound. He finds the back of the net to make it 3-2. And then the Capitals actually come back and tie the game after being down 3-0. Kuznetsov just throws a puck on net. I thought Snively tipped it because he was in this one, but he didn't. It just went in. But Joe Snively looked unreal in this game. Like, my only problem with Snively is that I can't be on Washington now because he took my number 91. But other than that, he just looks so good. He kind of reminds me of a Conor Sherry, but I almost feel like he's gonna have like a greater offensive upside. I don't know why I think that. I know he's having an unreal year in the American League, but no, I like Joe Snively. I didn't think I would care about him at the start of the season, but I wouldn't mind seeing more of him now. Anyways, Capitals tie the game at 3 was what I was getting at there. And then in the Capitals corner, Protas goes to get a puck in. Draisaitl smokes him in the nuts, and there's no penalty. I get it, the refs missed it, whatever. No fine after. Little weird, but it's okay. I don't think Ovi got fined when he intentionally just drilled Trent Frederick last year. But then I see a video of Draisaitl's done this like 3 times now. He did it to Kaprizov last year, I think, maybe even earlier this year, and then he did it like 2 years ago also. So it's like it's like the PK Subban, but if your thing is sticking guys in the nuts, man, you got to find a new thing because that's not good. Probably help the world's overpopulation, but still, it's not good. It's not a good thing to be known for. Granted, he's pretty good, so he's known for other stuff. But anyways, Capitals would get them back when Hathaway's carrying the puck up the ice, and McDavid kind of goes to get in his way. Hathaway smokes McDavid. I mean, like, smokes him like head and feet are on the same horizontal plane, smokes him. Like, he gets dummied by Hathaway. He's got Kylie Yamamoto cross-checking him. He's got Kane, like, getting in his ear and stuff. Again, Kane. It's good to see him sticking up for his guy, but you just got to stay out of that stuff, man. You're going to hear something that's going to make you snap one day. And then Willie and Draisaitl are talking next to the benches. Draisaitl makes this weird face. I don't know who he's mocking, but he just looks ridiculous. Capitals get a power play out of it, and the Oilers score the stupidest shorthanded goal. It goes off like a leg and bounces in front right to Nugent Hopkins, who's standing back door at a wide open net. So they take a 4-3 lead, and then they bury the empty netter to win the game. But this was tough because the Capitals played well. Like, after their tough first period, like, obviously you can't go down 3-0 that early because it's tough to come back in general, but coming back from 3 is like really hard. So the fact that they did it is good. Like, held Edmonton off the score sheet until the very end of the game. But their power play, man, if they could have scored 1 power play goal in this game, it would have been a completely different game. But they went like 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 or something. Like, you can't be doing that. I don't care if Ovi's not in the lineup, so that really killed them. Their slow start killed them, and their special teams. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's all the games, kind of, even though I spark noted half of them. But yeah, again, check out the new Tom Wilson Mr. Clean merch. It's sick. Go support him. Being at the All-Star Game, support our boy. We're the only ones who have his back, so we gotta show it. Also, I wrote an article about Tom Wilson, how he's the NHL's nuclear weapon. It's right there in the dark screen that I didn't realize was dark. There you go. It's right there. It's about him being the NHL's nuclear weapon because everybody hates him. No one likes a country with nuclear weapons, but everybody wants them because they're useful. So check that out at chirpingdmv.com. But anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the All-Star festivities this weekend. Hopefully they're a bit more exciting than in previous years. But anyways, yeah, I'll try and get these out on a more consistent basis. You know, I say that all the time, but I'm also going to try and figure out how to not have to reshoot these every time with mic problems and stuff. So again, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace out.